Hi everyone, and welcome back to Miss Contreras Math. I am Miss Contreras. Today's video will be featuring multiplication part 2. In this lesson we are going to be multiplying with decimals, and when we multiply with decimals we line up the numbers, not the place value. You can certainly do that. You can certainly line up the decimals and fill in necessary placeholders, but there is an extra step that you would require of yourself. If you did not see my last video, I will link it in the description below. That was more of an introductory multi-digit multiplication lesson. This lesson is stemming off of that. So if you would like to watch my previous lesson first, by all means, go ahead and do so. As far as this lesson is concerned, we are about to jump right into it. So last time I showed you guys the traditional or turtle head method and the window pane or lattice method. Those are the two strategies I'm going to be using for today's video. So we're going to start off with the traditional algorithm. So when we are multiplying larger numbers, and by larger I don't necessarily mean their value, I just mean a number that has a large amount of digits in it. With these, you typically want to put the numbers that have more digits on top of the numbers that have the less amount of digits. So we are going to be multiplying 1 42/100 times 3 9/10. So in the last video I showed you how to multiply a 2-digit number times a 2-digit number. In this lesson we are going to be expanding on the number of digits that we're using as well. So even though 1 42/100 is less than 3 9/10, I am going to put that number on top whenever I set this problem up because it has more digits in it. So 1 42/100 times 3 9/10. Now, I know not everybody likes to do it this way, but I'm going to show you both ways. I did not line up my decimals to solve this problem. And I tell my students the reason that you don't line your decimals up when you're multiplying is because you have to kick the decimals out of the problem and then kick it back in. So before we even start multiplying these two numbers together, we have to kick the decimals out. So I tell my students to count your kicks. So we are going to take the decimal and we're going to kick it 2 times, and then 3. We kicked it 1, 2, 3 times, and then we put that number out to the side, circle it, put a bow on it. That is a present that we are going to open at the end of finding our product. So that 3 tells me that my answer, my product, should have 3 decimal places in it. So now that we've kicked our decimal out of the problem, it looks like what we're multiplying is 142 times 39. So this is the traditional algorithm. I'm going to set it up like my turtle head. So again, you draw your turtle head around the first digit on the bottom and around all of the digits that it's needing to be multiplied by. So we are multiplying first 142 times 9. So we're going to jump right in. 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. We bring down our 8 and we carry our 1. I'm going to put plus 1 above that 4. My next step is to multiply 9 times 4. And 9 times 4 is 36, and 36 plus 1 is 37. So we bring down our 7, add 3. My next step is 9 times 1 plus 3. 9 times 1 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. 12. Do you remember the steps from last week? Draw your collar around Myrtle the turtle's neck. Check off your numbers and lay a turtle egg. And then you are ready to go over to the next place value, which is the 3. This time we're going to be multiplying 3 times these numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. And notice that I'm lining these digits up with each other because we're going to add them together later. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. I bring down my 2 and I carry my plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So now I have these two numbers that are going to be added together to get my final product. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 6 is 13. We regroup the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 2 is 5. And 1 plus 4 is 5. Now, we are not done yet because we still have that present that we're opening up at the end of our problem. We have to kick the decimal back into this product 3 times. So we're going to bring this down here. There's our decimal. We're going to kick it back into the problem 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So our product is actually 5 and 538 thousandths. 5 and 538 thousandths. So let's keep that number in mind. 5 and 538 thousandths. So now I'm going to show you traditional again, but this time I'm going to show you what it looks like if you line your factors up according to their place value. Let me just erase this here. All right, so now let's line them up, larger number on top of our smaller number. So that would be 3 and 9/10 times 1 and 42 hundredths. Now, you have been taught since 3rd grade that whenever you have numbers that you're either comparing or numbers that you are adding together, if there's that empty space, you need to put a placeholder. So now we are going to get into the multiplication, and the first step is the same whenever you're dealing with a decimal. You have to kick it out of the problem first. So we are going to do just that. We are going to take these decimals and we are going to kick them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This product should have 4 decimal places in it. Now, it is a very bad habit, but I've noticed a lot of my students do this when they set it up this way. Whenever they do fill in those placeholders, they think that it would just be like adding 2 decimal numbers together where you drop it straight down. That's a no-no. You have to kick it out and kick it back in. So let's go ahead and get into our multiplying. We're going to set up Myrtle the turtle. And this is a good look into what you should do if you're multiplying a 3-digit number times a 3-digit number. So we're going to start off with our 2 times 390 because we kicked those decimals out, so now it looks like we're just multiplying with whole numbers. So 2 times 0 is 0 because anything times 0 is 0. 2 times 9 is 18. We bring our 8 down, carry up our plus 1. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So now our next step is to draw our collar, check off our number, we drew our collar, we checked off our number, and then we laid our turtle egg. So now we move over to the 4. And I'm going to use a different color just to keep the steps straight. So now we go to the 4 and we do the same thing. 4 times 390. 4 times 0, again, is 0. 4 times 9 is 36. So we bring down our 6 and we carry up our plus 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. So again, we're going to draw our collar, check off our number, but since we have to go over one more place, we're going to be laying 2 turtle eggs this time before we multiply by that 1. So now we're ready to multiply by the 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. Going to add these numbers together. 0 plus 0 plus 0. 8 plus 0 plus 0. 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 plus 0 is still 13. Regroup that 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 plus 9 is 15. 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. Again, we're not done because our product has to have 4 decimal places in it. So we have to kick that decimal in 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you were to compare our previous product with our current product, the two values are equal. That 0 on the end of this number does not contribute to the value of the number. So it could actually be taken off and it would be 5 538 thousandths. So now I'm going to wipe this board and we are going to get into the window pane or lattice method using decimals. Alright, so window pane. One and 42 hundredths times 3 9/10 in the window pane. Now the steps are pretty similar to the last one as far as where you start, but with these problems what I tell my students to do is to kick them out before you set the problem up. So we look at our original problem and we look at how many decimal places should be in our product. So we kick them out. 1, 2, 3. I meant that to be in a different color. 1, 2, 3. So again, that is a present for us to open up after we solve our problem. I tell my students it's a little gift that you get to open for doing a math problem. So we're going to set it up just like we did last week. I'm going to write my first number as the top number, 142. We kick the decimals out, so they are not going to be part of our setup for the window pane. I'm going to go ahead and draw my box. And then 39, we're going to write it vertically on the right-hand side of the box. 39. And on the last video, I showed you guys that the way that I tell my students to set these up is to draw a line separating your digits within your numbers. That's the easiest way to do it. Draw lines to separate your digits. So we have created 6 boxes. Within those 6 boxes, we need to draw diagonal lines, and those lines represent the tens place on top, the ones place on the bottom. So corner to corner and draw through. Corner to corner, corner to corner, draw through. And if you remember from the last video, these lines are very important because that represents our final step in this process right here. We're going to add those numbers within the diagonals. So I'm going to color code my numbers like I did on the last video. So in this group, I know that these two numbers are going to be multiplied by 2, and the product of those numbers goes in these 2 boxes. Same thing here. This 4 is my red number, and it's going to be multiplied by 3 and then multiplied by 9. And the products go within those 2 boxes. 1 will be my blue number, which will be multiplied by 3 and by 9, and the products will go in these front 2 boxes. Three is my green number, and so the products of 3 are going to go in the top row. 9 will be my purple number, and the products of those will be on the bottom. Again, if you're doing this with your students and they're not quite sure where their products line up, I had my students use highlighters for those. Some of them immediately it clicked that where they meet is where the products go, but some of them needed a little extra something to help them navigate it, and colors or highlighters were the easiest thing for them to understand. So we're going to get into the multiplication. You can write the multiplication out to the side like I did on the last video, but if you know your math facts and you know that if it doesn't have a digit in the tens place to automatically fill in a 0, you don't have to do this step that I'm doing. But I like for you guys to see where I'm getting these numbers from. So I always start with the top right-hand box. You don't have to start there. You can really start anywhere. That's the beauty of using this window pane method, is that as long as your numbers end up in the correct boxes, you can pretty much start wherever you would like to. But I always start here for some reason. So in this first box, I have green and yellow, my green number times my yellow number. So, oops, I did that last time too. 2 times 3 is 6. Now again, we said that the boxes represent the tens place and the ones place. And the number 6 does not have a digit in the tens place. So we put 0 in the tens, 6 in the ones. In the box below that, I have yellow and purple. So I'm multiplying the yellow number times the purple number, 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. That number has a 1 in the tens place and an 8 in the ones place. 1, 8. We move over to the next group. I have red mixed with green. My red number times my green number, 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 in the tens place, 2 in the ones place. Down below that, I have red and purple. My red number times my purple number, 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. That's a 3 in the tens place, a 6 in the ones place. Now we're ready to move over to the next group. 1 times 3. I have blue mixed with green in here. 1 times 3 is 3. That's another that it has nothing in the tens place, so we have to put in a 0 in the tens, 3 in the ones. In the box below that, I have blue mixed with purple. My blue number times my purple number, 1 times 9. 1 times 9 is 9. Again, there's no number in the tens place and a 9 in the ones. So now that we have done the multiplication, we've gotten all of the multiplication out of the way, we have to add the numbers within the same set of diagonals. Now this first number here, you always just bring it straight down because there's nothing to add it with. So we're going to bring our 8 down. In this group, we're adding together 6 plus 1 plus 6. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 7 plus 6 is 13. We bring our 3 down and we regroup that 1 to the next group of diagonals. And I always bring it up and circle it just to remind myself that I need to add that with those numbers. So 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 plus 9. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And 6 plus 9 is 15. 5, and regroup our 1. 15. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 plus 0 is still 5. And this 0 here, we can bring it down or we can leave it alone. It, again, does not contribute to the value. So now, we are not done with this problem. We have our initial product, but we have to unwrap our present. We have to rewrite your digits. And we need to kick our decimal back into the problem 1, 2, 3 times. And our product is 5 and 538 thousandths. I hope this video was helpful today and that it maybe gave you a deeper understanding of the steps that you need to take in order to multiply, and also that when you're multiplying with decimals, you do not need to line the decimals up. You can, and you saw that we were able to get the same exact answer as before, but it was an extra step that we had to follow if we put that placeholder in there. If you like this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends. I hope you're able to use it in your classroom. I also have a Facebook page entitled Miss Contreras Math that you're welcome to like and get updated when I post new videos there as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.